What's going on, guys? Danny with Lanier Lawn Care, and when it comes to power washers, there are some things that you may or may not know about them, and there's so many features and different features between brands and between a 3200 and a 3600 and a 2800 that today we're going to help you decide what is going to be best for you. Now, the two things we're going to talk about today are two things that you're going to see on every power washer, more than likely anyhow, and that is your PSI and your gallons per minute. So your PSI and your GPM. So we're going to talk about what them are meant for and how they're going to help you conquer your next task. So let's jump into this video, and hopefully this helps. I would like to say a huge thank you to Jason Wilk for helping me help you better understand the verbiage or wordage of what GPM and PSI is. So let's jump right in. So when it comes to power washers, they are very handy around the house, around the job site, things of that nature. But the number one question that a lot of people ask is, what is the best power washer for me? A lot of people think that they need to go and buy a 4200 PSI power washer to do something, and that strictly is not the case. So today we're going to tell you about PSI and GPM and how they come into play depending on what project you are trying to do. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your pounds per square inch, or PSI. And the PSI is necessary to break down the chemical bond between the surface and the stain. So depending on what kind of stain you've got on your pavement or your siding or your fence, this is going to come into play of how much PSI you need, pressure per square inch, you're going to need to get that stain removed. The stronger the chemical bond, the more pressure you'll need to remove it. And when it comes to something like this, we're going to talk about oil stains and such of that nature is going to be a harder stain to remove over, let's say, a piece of sidewalk chalk on your concrete, or the dirt on your concrete. And the next thing we're going to talk about is the GPM, or gallons per minute. And the gallons per minute is, the larger the gallons per minute, the more surface area a pressure washer can clean. So let me put this into a better perspective and give you a better example of what I'm talking about. All right, so let's put this into a different perspective. It rains, so perfect time. We got some mud, okay? So we're going to take our mud and we're going to take a water bottle or a squirt gun. Straight stream. Now here is where your PSI. PSI is going to break this mud up. Okay, so it's going to break it up, but it's not enough to wash it away. That's where your GPM, or gallons per minute, come in. So if we're taking this, we're breaking it up because we've got the PSI to do so. Now let's add our gallons per minute with the PSI, and you're going to get it washing away as well. Now hopefully that helps you understand better perspective of PSI and GPM. Next, we're going to have cleaning units. And how you get cleaning units is you multiply the gallons per minute by the PSI of your power washer. So in our case, we have a 3600 PSI power washer at 2.5 gallons per minute. Imagine two streams of water under the same amount of pressure. The first stream contains twice the water as the second. As a result, it will clean twice as fast. To calculate the cleaning units, all we're going to do is simply multiply the GPM, gallons per minute, by the PSI, and that's going to give us our cleaning units. So the higher the number, the better the unit. But just because you have a high number does not mean you're really going to need all of that pressure. So let's talk about what it takes to clean your fence or your driveway stains, such of that nature. How much PSI do you need? So barbecue grills, bikes, scooters, vehicles, 1500 PSI is going to work, 2600, of course your 3000, 4000 is going to work. But when you start getting into the 3000, 4000 PSI, the one thing you're going to want to do is stand farther away from the vehicle, because if you start getting close, you can start doing some damage to your paint and to other things. So be very, very careful if you're using a high pressure power washer and you're trying to wash your vehicle and such, and you're thinking you need to get up real close in order to get it clean, because you could end up doing more damage than good. Your decks, cedar fence, boats, ATVs, decks and docks, cedar fence, they recommend 2600 PSI and above. And then your home siding, boats, ATVs, asphalt driveway, if you're looking to clean that, 3000 PSI and above. And then last but least, we've got your industrial equipment. And if you're trying to do paint stripping or get graffiti, such of that nature off, then you're going to want a higher PSI, which is going to be the industrial 4000 or above models. Or you could get something like the hot water power wash, you know, something like that, that's going to be helpful as well. So hopefully this video helped you decide what PSI power washer you needed. Maybe you don't need 3000 PSI. Therefore, you should probably be looking into it, maybe an electric power washer. But when it comes to the most you're going to get for your money, the best bang for the buck per se, you're going to get more with a gas powered pressure washer. And there are a ton out there on the market. So, you know, each one has their great features. Each one has, you know, so many different features that it could be, which one do you pick? So we're going to go into another video between pumps, the engines, things of that nature, to help you decide which one may be best for you. But until then, hopefully this video helps you decide which PSI or GPM unit you're going to need, because each one does their own different thing, and you need both to keep and get a clean, successful job done. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps. We will see you soon.